Salmon farming once looked like the salvation of coastal communities. 2 generations later, it provokes bitter opposition in those same villages, sometimes from its erstwhile supporters. Meanwhile, those who once opposed it now support it. Here's opposition leader Darrell Dexter in 2007 speaking against fish farms in Port Mattoon. But now he's the premier, and his government strongly supports a massive expansion of salmon farms in the coves and village harbours of Nova Scotia, including Port Mattoon, which still doesn't want them.
What's going on with the lobster population when traditional knowledge says that they came in here in the spring? That fish farm took a whole bay nursery area out of production.
What I try to do in many of the discussions that I have with people is try and move the debate from should salmon farming happen to it's going to happen, how should it happen?
Does net cage salmon aquaculture really create good jobs? Or by fouling the water with sewage, pesticides, dye, and antibiotics, does it destroy better jobs in tourism, recreation, shellfish aquaculture, and the all-important lobster fishery?
And to me, aquaculture is a natural fit. With our coastal communities, and I think there's opportunities. And that I've actually, as a fisherman, fished alongside of aquaculture sites. And I've seen the numbers of lobster landings in the last 30 years triple.
Just from fishing lobster traps around the sites, what we find is when they first put the salmon in, and it seems that if you set a trap close to a site, you'll do quite well. There's it seems to be good lobster fishing around the site. So in the spring, if they put them in the spring, the fishing would be good, or if they put them in the fall, the fishing in the fall would be good. In the next time, the fishing isn't so good. It's not quite as good as it would be everywhere else. You'll still catch a few lobsters around the site, but you'll also catch some crabs and so on. But if you wait till the next season, when they're about ready to come out, you'll catch no lobsters. You'll catch some crabs and start catching starfish in your traps. And to us, starfish are a sign of this bottom has run its course. You know, that's the last, when they're gone, there's nothing left.
Wild Atlantic salmon are endangered, but they're still worth $225 million a year to Atlantic Canada, and ordinary citizens are working hard to revive them. This $750,000 machine, bought by volunteers, feeds lime into the Sheet Harbour West River to combat the effects of acid rain. In 2000, salmon were considered extinct in this river. In 2011, it was home to 11,500 juvenile salmon. Salmon farms attract parasites and disease which they treat with pesticides and antibiotics. That threatens the remaining wild salmon and all the work that's been done to revive them. Now, salmon farming is raising major issues about democracy. Of 135 submissions about the new farms off Freeport, 134 were opposed. The community is suing the government for permitting the farms, which are supposedly intended to support community development.
This has nothing to do with community development. This has to do with developing the profit margin of Cook aquaculture. And also, the province seems to think it's going to improve its bottom line as well. But it's not going to create jobs for the people here in Freeport or Westport or Tiverton or Long Island, any of those places. What it's going to do is it's actually going to take jobs away. So that's not community development. It's going to take good jobs away. That's not economic development. At least it's not economic development for us.
And the wishes of the communities don't seem to matter at all.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cindy Webster. I'm the Director of Aquaculture Management for Fisheries and Oceans. And can everybody hear me? For these sites, we're just starting to look at this. So, as I said, we take all those concerns very seriously and consider those when we're doing our advice. And I've only been with aquaculture for 10 years, and we have not turned down a salmon farm in the 10 years I've been here.
I feel like I'm like a black fly, and I'm just buzzing around you know, the provincial government's ear, and, you know, I'm just a pest, so they're just constantly swatting me away. And that's essentially, that's a good analogy, because that's what it is.
Oh, you're not supposed to be in here. Paul said you want you out of here.
What?
He said you guys not supposed to be in here.
Salmon Wars, a video documentary produced for free distribution, is a special project of thegreeninterview.com, and it's being financed entirely by citizens concerned about the environmental and social impact of net cage salmon farms. To make a tax-deductible contribution, please send a check to Salmon Wars, care of the Ecology Action Centre, 2705 Fern Lane, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3K 4L3.